We have a little update on what the January 6th committee is up to. I wish it was coming from anyone other than Liz Cheney, but unfortunately she's the one we've got. She went on, let's see, ABC News this weekend, and here's what she had to say about some of the recent findings.
The committee has firsthand testimony now that he was sitting in the dining room next to the Oval Office watching the attack on television as the assault on the Capitol occurred. We know, as you know well, that the briefing room at the White House is just a mere few steps from the Oval Office. The president could have at any moment walked those very few steps into the briefing room, gone on live television, and told his supporters who were assaulting the Capitol to stop. He could have told them to stand down. He could have told them to go home. And he failed to do so. It's hard to imagine a more significant and more serious dereliction of duty than that.
Is his failure to make that statement criminal negligence?
You know, I think that there are a number of, as the chairman said, potential criminal statutes at issue here. But I think that there's absolutely no question that it was a dereliction of duty. And I think one of the things the committee needs to look at as we're looking at a legislative purpose is whether we need enhanced penalties for that kind of dereliction of duty. But I think it's also important for the American people to understand how dangerous Donald Trump was. We know as he was sitting there in the dining room next to the Oval Office, members of his staff were pleading with him to go on television, to tell people to stop. We know Leader McCarthy was pleading with him to do that. We know members of his family. We know his daughter. We have firsthand testimony that his daughter Ivanka went in at least twice to ask him to please stop this violence.
Okay, so much of what she revealed there, I feel like we either specifically knew or believed to be true. Maybe the Ivanka going in twice might be an addition, but so they're like looking into it. I guess there's something, but what is their solution? Enhanced penalties in the future, she said. Wait, you mean so like the next time a president sits by as a mob attacks the Capitol, in the aftermath of that, will have enhanced penalties. So wait, so you're saying we not only had to survive the one attempted insurrection, but in your hypothetical, we would have to survive another one, and then maybe there would be penalties. Oh, good.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like much, Francesca.
Yeah, impeachment could mean something at some point. What kind of, I mean, that's the thing. Our democracy has not been prepared for someone like Donald Trump. So what are you gonna do? How are we gonna Trump-proof? How are we gonna authoritarian-proof this country and our government going forward? And they're out of ideas. They're like, well, maybe our slap on the wrist will be a little bit harder, if you know what I mean. The dude was sitting eating popcorn, laughing, mouth full. I'm surprised he didn't choke that day, just like out of laughter at the chaos he created. And also, come on, guys, imagine if he had gone on television and said stop. Number one, it wouldn't have done anything because people knew that hours before he was in front of his own mob saying we're gonna go forward and basically violently take power. That he was encouraging and inciting people. So you gotta go back farther than that. Oh, is that not far enough? Should we go to another rally where he encouraged violence? Why don't we go to a different rally? Why don't we keep on going backwards until the entire Republican Party condoned and allowed themselves to be taken over by a demagogue? Look, I actually am like happy that Liz Cheney is speaking out. I'm not someone who's gonna say, F you Liz Cheney forever. I know who your daddy is, even though we know who your daddy is. But like, we do need people and Republicans like Liz Cheney standing up and actually saying the realities that are before our eyes. But you gotta do better when it comes to actually preventing this. Good for you on speaking out, but we need better solutions.
Yeah, I personally think, and we'll talk about this more on the anniversary, I guess, but my view 1 year out is, they will not succeed in overthrowing the government if they don't try very hard. I think that's the thing that will stop them. I don't think that Democratic leadership, Joe Biden, the DOJ, Merrick Garland, anything like that is really doing anything. They have tried to provide some disincentives to do an uprising. If you're one of the regular people, maybe they've sent some of them to prison for a few months or whatever. But in terms of if you were one of the political or media backers of it, nothing. Seemingly nobody was responsible for the event. Individual people at it were responsible. Some regular guy beating a cop with a flag is responsible. But the people who got them there and sent them there and stuffed them full of insanity, none of them are responsible. None of the politicians, none of the pundits. And so why would any of the politicians and pundits back off from doing it again?
Yeah.
They're all fine, if not like have more devoted bases than they did the last time. So
this whole year has been like, you remember how long January 6th felt? It was like the 4 hours that nothing happened and they were not contained. And they just left. They just kind of got their yayas out and like left the Capitol, right? This entire year has felt like those 4 hours of waiting for some kind of accountability. Paul Gosar, Andy Biggs, all the Congress people, Marjorie Greene, Lauren Boebert, all the people who met with these rioters. What's gonna happen to them? I mean, we're gonna do a top 10 list in a little bit, John, about our predictions for 2022, but and you're welcome for mentioning that. But I wonder if we're gonna see a single congressperson held accountable for this. And losing your committee positions is not enough.
Yeah, especially when they weren't interested in participating in those committee meetings to begin with.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.